Hi, my name is Sally Bernard, an artist, author, and spiritual experiencer. Welcome to Call Me Zena, a true story into the spiritual realms. Join me as I sit and discuss the journey of self-discovery, and with the help of my spirit guides, it's time to trust your intuition. Sit with me and call in live 888-994-4995 Studio A. And now onto the show.
Hi everybody, good afternoon. Just talking about my art on clothing. It's now live, the website. So we happen to have some in the studio. Brianna, right. That's the top for it goes with the pants, which I believe Heather put on, or somebody put one on this morning. You're surprised, Freddie, that it looks so good. Because you have to feel it, well, not good, you love my art, but the material is beautiful.
Actually, what I said was that I like the fact that the material, the print in Life Studio looks even better than the website. It has vivid colors that come out of everywhere. Oh, you got the top and the bottom.
Yeah, the top, most of
Look
them.
at it. Those are unbelievable, the way they came out. Those are just amazing.
I can't wait to use them tomorrow, or today, actually.
Yeah.
Amazing.
And actually, the other person that had received, because I've only just started selling them now online, was Mindy, and she said, you need to touch it and feel it. They love the design, but once you actually get it, it was a surprise to me how great the material is on people.
Fabric.
Very good quality.
And the throw blanket is very good as well.
Yeah, which people are using for gifts now. But I happen to have one on too. This is part of my art too. So, okay, on with the show. Thank you, Brianna.
How do people get it?
It's Art Sally Bernard.
Art by Sally Bernard.
I'm already where I'm meant to be. Art by
Sally. Barnard. And click shop now.
It goes, the boutique, it goes straight, it's Art by Sally Bernard, but people...
Sally's Clothing Boutique.
It's right there as you punch into that, and then go into shop now and you'll see, and hopefully we're going to be doing something with all you guys modeling with us in the studio, right?
Yeah, that's the goal.
Looking forward to it. So on with the show. Please call in if you have any questions. My book is out there too, so if you guys have read my book and there's something that you want to ask me, call in 888-954-4995. I can't do this once I'm going into a trance.
994-4995 Studio A.
Thank you.
As for Sally Bernard. I'm looking for there it is. We took care of the problem.
Right, yes, good.
I just
Okay,
want to
that's
share it on your
good.
page.
Okay, so here we go. Questions, please. We actually had a segment just before with Veronica. If anybody that's watching now was listening to her show before this one, it was all on fairies, and she made some beautiful things. So we kind of thought that maybe we'll talk a little bit about how I truly believe that fairies exist, but in another dimension. So I don't know if anybody wants to call in and ask a question on fairies, but it doesn't have to be that.
Please explain what you mean by that fairies exist in another dimension.
Very good question, Steve. Okay. Well, I believe that there are several dimensions, and where we are basically in our learning here on Earth, we raise our vibrational energy, which takes us eventually into another dimension. Well, we don't see fairies, but we do talk a lot about fairies and other things. But the thing is, what I truly think, and I really am very close to the fairy world. When she brought in, things to eat that she was making from her beautiful book, The Fairy Garden, I think it was called, is that I think that we have been close to fairies in our lives, and people go, what is she talking about? But if you raise that slightly, that vibrational energy, I believe, and of course I can't tell you what I see, but if you raise that up and you think truly that you'd like to see fairies and you're able to, and you've come to a certain understanding of learning all this and you believe it, they do exist. I think so.
Sally, I think you have a caller, but you have all sorts of stuff going on around you right now. You have no idea.
Yes, I know. It's affecting me, actually. Yes.
Are we ready for the caller? She said yes.
It's affecting me in a good way.
Okay,
Hi, caller.
let's put the caller on, please.
Oh, hi, Karen. Hi. can't quite hear her too much. Where does the, can you just I'm sorry, Karen,
Repeat the question.
just repeat it or
A little
somebody here.
louder.
Just, I heard you say, oh, like, okay, I understand what you're saying. Okay, just to explain, do you mind me explaining, or do you want to explain a little bit? Because it happens to all of us. You happen to be in the studio and you explained to me what had happened before you came in. We don't have to go into details, but you explained that you'd had something that triggered a memory, correct, Karen?
Yes,
Yeah, okay, so,
because it's Sunday to Monday, and Monday morning was when my son died, and
Right.
it just seemed 2018 triggered that memory.
okay, I'm
And
gonna,
I felt empty.
all right, well, I just want to let you know, and I did tell you that when I saw you in the studio, we all do have these triggers. Everybody, you're not alone with that, and I think I told you that too. It depends how we look at that. And obviously, if it's something pretty traumatic and you've had a trigger, as you did, and you may get pulled up on that by somebody or whatever could happen, it's normal. The first thing you need to do, and I actually remember saying this, is to say, well, I know it brought back memories. Something triggered that. It could be something, a phone call, you could meet somebody. It doesn't matter, but you can get triggered. The moment you realize that this, it was,
Actually was a dream.
okay, so the reason I'm saying this is if you stop for a moment, it's not unusual to start shaking, because if you have something occurred in your life and you feel the memory of it even, but it can work both ways. It can be a memory that brings you happiness, a song. Let's use it on the positive. And you hear a song and it'll take you back to when you first heard that song. And if it was a good memory, you feel good. If you have a trigger, so vice versa, if you're going to get a trigger of something basically that was upsetting to you, you're going to have that upset feeling. Our mind just does that. So if you are aware of that, which I hope I made you aware when we were talking in the studio together, it's easier to, I'm going to say, get rid of it. Even if it goes on a little bit in your mind, just know that that happened in the past. Do not try to bring it, what they're telling me, into your now. And we often talk about the now. Yes, obviously a positive, you're going to feel happy and you're going to want to remember some of that. Looking at pictures can do that. It can also go. I think I've got.
I really felt like as a little girl and as a woman, I have battled different battles, and certain numbers, like I tried asking you, do not numbers signify something? And when I saw 2018, I thought of the last 7 years, and it just really shook my nerves.
Can I tell you what I feel,
everybody?
Karen? And you're not alone with this. Are you home now? Or are you in your car? Okay, put on something.
Well, I'm with
we
my
need to
mom
get
and
rid
brother.
of these triggers right now. It happened. But my advice, which I would say to anybody, is to put on, you play the piano, you sing, you dance, right? You can do all these things, and you do it beautifully. You play the piano beautifully. I don't know if you're on your own or if anybody's in the house with you, but what I would suggest right now when you put the phone down, and this is entirely up to you, you want to get rid of these triggers. And it happened, and they happen for reasons, and I'm going to say sometimes it's a positive because we can turn a negative into a positive. Get on you got a piano there, right? Get on your piano and start singing. It doesn't matter if no one's listening, it's okay. But you need to change your vibrational energy. Does that make sense to you? So as much as you were triggered...
Yes, and I've been feeling that.
Okay, so that's my advice.
I've been feeling... Okay.
So I think, I mean, you know, on the phone we can still do this, of course, but I would play something that gives you anything. I mean, look at pictures. It doesn't have to be that you're going to sing and dance, but that's where I find your happy place, I think, is too. Anything that brings you back into your now in a happy place. That's my suggestion, and that's what I'm being told, because you know that I'm channeled through my spirit guides, and I feel very strongly, and I'm glad that you called in, that please do that for yourself. It's for you. It's for nobody else other than yourself.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Bring yourself to your happy place.
I really
now.
love you, and
I love you
yes,
too, Karen.
I will
okay?
do that.
Okay.
Thank
all right.
you,
Thank you
Sally.
for calling
Okay.
in. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Well, Sally, this plays into the conversation we had in the car coming over here, how negative energy can interfere with your balance, with your equilibrium even. So could you explain how that works?
Yes, because we are energy, Steve, and no one is immune to this. Everybody will go through this. Sometimes we just don't know what's happening to us. And I, as much as I talk about this, and you know me, obviously you know me very well, I felt the last day or so, I have felt a negative force. And that negative force makes me shake. And I say to myself, why am I shaking? So this morning, and you weren't aware of what I did, but I'll put it on the air because my goal is to help people that are going through this. So I said to myself, I was in the bathroom getting ready, and I said to myself, Sally, enough. Whatever force, and I felt very strongly that I was being, I have no idea, it doesn't matter where it was coming from or whatever it was, but I felt forces coming towards me. And you're proof, you know that you saw how I was shaking. So I said to myself, I know better. Nothing can touch me. And we're all the same. We just need to know this. I went like that. You weren't aware of what I did. I went like that, and I said, leave me alone. Leave me alone. I was getting channeled to do that. And I said, if you want to bring it on, that's up to you, but leave me alone. And I could hear in something telling me, breathe. And Karen, I don't know if you're still listening, but it helped me. I started to breathe because we're not immune, and I started to breathe. And suddenly, everything around me changed. And I know better, but I also recognize more than other people when these things happen. And it went away.
Would you say that even though you have connections to the spirit world,
we all do,
that anybody could do what you did? You push the negative energy
well, obviously,
away?
because I wouldn't be airing it. I feel that we all have connections. We just, even if we don't believe it, doesn't matter. Just if you feel something is going wrong, it affects me physically, because if people know what an empath is, they'll know what I'm talking about, and you know by now. Disperse it. Disperse it. As long as you know that you can, because it's the same as, which I've said many times, oh, I'm having a bad day. If you voice that, that's what everyone is hearing, although they may not even be aware of it. Your voice and your sound is very powerful. So instead of saying, I'm having a bad day, wake up and say, doesn't matter if you believe it or not. Today is going to be a wonderful day. Yes, this negativity can drive people crazy. It used to drive me crazy too. But I believe that something was happening. So say to yourself, look at yourself in the mirror, and today is going to be a beautiful day. I look great. I look fantastic. Don't have to have anybody around you, but you're saying it. And from then on, see what happens. And if you feel that something negative is coming towards you, repeat to the universe. Today nothing is going to spoil my day because it's going to be a beautiful day. And try it.
It's not going to be a bad day until you say it's going to be a bad day.
Exactly, Freddie. That's what I'm trying to say.
So it's perception is a very key part of having the ability to feel positive.
Perception is everything. Because we really, truly do manifest. But we manifest negative and we manifest positive. So even, and I keep saying if people don't understand, you don't have to understand it. That's the beauty of this. Just be aware of it. Believe in yourself. Even if you say, even your thoughts are very important. So you shouldn't say, I don't believe all this, but I'm going to say it. But believe, even for the moments that you're doing it, truly believe that what you're putting out there is manifesting. We manifest negative, positive, people that come into our lives. We manifest it all. Do we understand? No, I don't. I just know that we're energy, and I've heard that for many, many years. energy attracts energy. It goes on forever and ever and ever. So let's enjoy this peace on earth. If we could just carry that into the world to make it more, bigger for people to do. My message alone, just one little message talking to the people that are listening, can say, let's heal the earth. That's a positive thing. Let's heal this earth. We're all in this mess together. We're in it to learn. Let's try and do something about it, because it really does work. It really works.
So the interesting aspect, I was going to ask you about a deal that's come to me from Tampa. And the deal was given to me with very few facts to it. So I made the assumption, which is on me, that this would be a normal deal that we do in reality business, let's call it, for lack of a better understanding at the time. Then I come to the understanding that it is a whole different deal that's come the way they want to do it. And everybody will tell me, everybody has told me, can't do it. But I look at them and I say, it came to me, it's an opportunity to do it. Can I do it the way I wanted to do it? No. It doesn't make it a bad idea. It makes it a different idea.
It's an idea, and that's the word that's coming to me. And what you feel about it is what matters, because you manifest. I don't know what it is. I got some idea, but you've manifested it this far because it's already there. It's a thought, correct? So anybody can. It doesn't matter. It's what you do with it, Freddie. If your gut tells you, and you know this, it tells you that only you know whether it's how it's meant to be, because it was basically came to you. Somebody else sitting over there may have nothing to do with this. So what they may manifest has got nothing to do with what you've just manifested. And this is coming to me very strongly. So continue to manifest what you're wanting to manifest. And if for some reason along that journey as this is happening, you could change your mind too. And if at that point you say, this isn't really going the way I wanted, in the direction that I am going, listen to that voice too. For right now, what I feel like I'm saying to you is what you've manifested to this point, continue. But continue it with you doing it.
But it isn't even me. See, what's happening is the last few weeks, I look around at what I'm surrounded by. And what I'm surrounded by will allow me to take deals that I never ever thought I would ever do. But they can be done. And the funny thing is that the more people sit tight about the past and don't look at what they have in front of them, I mean, in their hands. In this room, I look around. So when an issue comes up, like with Abdullah, something came up, and I said, Abdullah, I need this. And bring your whole, because he has his own group of producers to resolve an issue. I think that the object of the game is that if you stay still, if you stay in the rears and you don't progress, then we're really not learning.
100%. This is what you're saying is how I would have answered this question, because we're in a now. This now is what, and we've heard this over and over again, but the more I tell myself this, the more I'm understanding it. It's repeated, That now is going to bring your next now. If we go back into what's already happened, what we're doing is we're bringing that into our now where we are. That's all we have is a now. So with your now, with what you feel you want to move into, your better way of saying it again is your next now, it's not everybody is going to be thinking what you want to think. That's your idea or whatever, be it anything. That's you that's manifesting that. There are people that are there, I'm not using this, what's happening with you, but in life itself, that have different ideas. It doesn't matter. They have their own ideas. They need to continue with their ideas. If it all meshes and comes together, and I really believe that when you start this journey and you carry on with what you want, you're going to manifest the right people to come into your now, because they're doing the same thing. It's happened to me at the studio. It happens all the time. Suddenly, I say, well, there's no coincidence, it's synchronicity. This place is amazing for doing that. Wherever you go, Freddie, because part of you is here. It's going to go wherever you go. But once you start, and we all have negativity, we all doubt ourselves, But if we can just remember, and for me too, that this is what I'm about, this is my dream, and I'm going to manifest the people that are in my life, that will come into my life, that are going to help me manifest it, because they're manifesting it too. We're all doing it. It's not just me, you. Everybody can do it. The key is to understand it a little bit. When you start to begin to understand it, it just carries on and on and on. But once the negativity comes in, and I'll say it again, negativity will bring forth positivity. But you've got to be aware of that, because you then question, I don't want that. So what I did is I'm pushing it away, which we all can do, to make room again for my journey, where I'm going. Because if something, it blocks it. It will block it. And if you're aware that it will block it, what do? We need to change it. So we need to change our thought process at that point. The key is to be aware of it.
And what has been said many years is that if you think you can or if you think you can't, you're right.
One way or the other?
Yeah.
50-50?
50-50.
Well, because we're on a learning process. If everything was going along the way we wanted it, and everything was, I say there's white and there's black. If everything was white, we won't understand black. If everything is black, we won't understand white. The key to this whole thing is let's have a balance here.
Well, I like what he just said, because at least it lets me pick yin or yang.
Yes.
So I can either go this way or that way, but when somebody else picks how you should think, that's when I have a little bit of a bugaloo.
Like that's never going to end well, because it's not coming from you, it's coming from someone else.
But everybody influences you.
Yeah.
Or they talk in your ear, or they say something.
Doesn't matter.
That brings your insecurities forward.
It doesn't matter. It's hard, but it's a lesson sometimes we bring upon ourselves too. But I think the moment I'm going to say, open your eyes to that and say, well, this is not the way that, you don't have to voice it, because you can be rude to people too, say, it's not the way I want it, and then you're going to send your vibrational energy all over the place. But as long as you know in that little voice in your head, this is not the way I want to do it. You can also verbalize it, of course, but believe that and continue on your journey the way that you're planning to manifest it. And along the way, you will pick up people that have the same manifestation that you're manifesting. Make sense?
All right, I have a question then.
Good. Hi.
So,
Hello, Brian.
So I've been consciously trying to be more confident in my decisions and more decisive and sure of myself in the moves that I decide to make in all areas of my life. So are you getting any messages from my spirit guides about like the decisions I've made recently, or?
Okay, I'm going to say that it's good, but then again, remember, Brianna, you have spirit guides too. So what I'm saying to you, just be aware that you are being helped. So you are on the right track. And again, I'm going to bring the positive and the negative in. Remain what your thoughts and exactly what we were talking about, the positivity of what you want to bring into your life and manifest. You have helpers. That's what I really need to tell you, and that's what they're telling me to tell you. So along the way, it's not just my spirit guides or Freddie's or Steve's, it's yours too. They all can work together. But right now, with what you're doing and your dreams, as long as you believe in yourself, more than anything, believe in yourself, you will manifest it. Does that help you?
Thank you, yes.
Yeah, good.
So is the challenge for her to believe it, or is the challenge for her to accept the fact that it exists?
Both, because it won't maybe exist if you don't believe it. Does that make sense? So you have to believe in it first. You can put it out there, but if you say to yourself, this is never going to happen, say, I want this to happen, it's never going to happen, probably won't. But if you have the confidence in yourself, which I've truly felt with the road that I'm following right now, that what I want is going to manifest itself, and I haven't always been that way, you will succeed at what you want to do. Now, if you get a lot of distraction of your own making, not necessarily other people, of you not feeling correct about it, or don't be insecure. That's the most important. You have a lot going for you. Do not bring in insecurities, okay? But if you do, say, okay, it's not
Leave
there.
me alone.
Yeah, leave it. It's the same thing. Push your own self, not just other people. You need to push your own self out of it too. There's a part of you. Say, leave me alone with that. It's like, you know how people say you hear this side and you hear that side? That's coming from you. Same thing applies. Get away. I want this side to work. It will.
Controlling your own destiny.
Absolutely. That's all we really do. We just allow other people in because we're all in this journey together.
But the funny thing is, you control your destiny by learning from your past.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. I was talking to my girlfriend the other day about this. I've had a lot of negativity in my past. But I used to say, okay, and I didn't really understand what was happening. But I am very happy today. Would I have liked to have had the journey a little easier? Probably, yes. But you know what? It's been a learning experience to me, and more for me if I make the same stupid mistakes again, right? I have something to compare it to.
It's funny, Sally, because I was at home and I was talking to Linda about sitting back and watching some of the things that occur. It's either sports or music or different items that bring me back to when I was younger. And there was a lesson to be learned at that moment of my life, and I missed it. I didn't learn from it.
Right.
And here I am now at 63 years of age saying, wow, they put that in my play for me to learn from it, and I didn't do it. And here I am now revisiting it, and I learned the lesson today.
100%. It happens to all of us. But the key to this, that you now know what this is all about. Where I'm sitting right now, I wish I had been here 30, 40 years ago, doing what I'm doing now, because this is my passion, what I'm doing. I didn't, but I can't keep saying I can do it now. It doesn't matter. So when you've finally learned that, and maybe I did have the opportunity thinking back, well, maybe I did and I didn't do it. It doesn't matter. Just put yourself into your now, which we started off. And your now, we will create another now. Follow your passion, follow your dreams. If you truly want to, you can make all sorts of mistakes and have negativity there and say, oh, well, I tried it, I did it. You can talk to yourself as long as you like. It isn't, in my mind, going to go forward. But when you say, well, I'm learning by that from what happened last time, and it's reappeared, that's a gift you're giving yourself. And we give that gift to ourselves. So on that, we're going to go to a commercial. I'll see you on the other side of my show in a few minutes. Thank you.
A True Story, Call Me Zena, is the telling of Sally Bernard. Born in London, England at the end of the Second World War, she came into the U.S. in 1979. A mother of two and a grandmother of four, she settled in Florida and worked in real estate. While going through a difficult time in her life, she was admitted into a hospital overnight in December of 2005. While settling back into her life, she began having vivid dreams and documenting them. By the third dream, a lady gave her a message to draw. With no artistic background or interest into art or history, Sally listened to her dreams and grabbed a paper and crayons. Today, she has over 150 pieces of inspiring art and poetry. This book follows her journey and interpretations of these messages. She describes in detail on how she is able to astral a project and who she has met along her travels, including her spirit guides. This book will show you how anything is possible with an open mind. These events have changed Sally's life and direction, and this book will show you how to change yours. Purchase Call Me Zena on Amazon today, authorhouse.com and amazon.com.
Thank you for joining me through this journey of self-discovery with the help of my spirit guides. I'm Sally Bernard, and you can find my book at authorhouse and amazon.com or visit my art on my clothing in my boutique at artbysallybernard.com. Now back to the show.
And we're back. And I want you all to take a look at Sally's book and read it. And if you get a copy of this, you can come into the studio and she'll sign it in your name. Maybe even tell you a couple of things or two about questions you may have for her. But the book is available on Amazon?
On Amazon. It's also an ebook, so you don't actually have to have the physical book. Today, years ago, we couldn't say that, but you can read it online. The paintings are there because it's not an audio, it's actually there. And anything, I would love people to read the book and come up with a question for me from in my book, because everything in that book is what happened to me 18, 19 years ago. I have another one coming out that's going to say more of what happened in my life and how but this is a journey. It's like a documentary on what actually happened to me. So if you love my show, go ahead and either buy the physical book or the ebook.
You can also find it on authorhouse.com. Call Me Zena.
And I love the fact that we're talking about and expressing concern and interest to the book, because I think it answers a lot of the questions that people are just afraid to ask. It's like Karen debated whether or not she should leave or she should sit. Something terrible happened in Karen's life yesterday.
Yeah.
And she had to go take care of that. I wanted to also say, Steve, that you've been involved in a lot of what we do here with this lady. And from the book, because I'm pretty sure you've read it.
Yep.
And any insight that it gave you?
Well, one thing in particular is the sequence that the book is written in. Talks about how how this all came to be, and how she was told to create artwork, and then the explanation of the artwork, and then it goes into her travels, her nightly travels, and being abducted and things like that. So it opened my eyes to a whole new world that I was not accustomed to, and I'm still learning. And I'm looking forward to the second book where it will expand all of that.
And I got to ask, the two of you came together with the website, with the clothing. Who came up with that idea, with the clothes on the, was that your idea?
That was my idea. I started a few years back because we still have a little commercial of that, but it wasn't the timing, unfortunately. I had a death in my family, and it just really wasn't the time for me to pursue it. But you see, a couple of years later, it still came about because that was my dream. And today I have even a bigger dream than I had 2 years ago because I've added to it. I'm doing so much more. So it's entirely, really, like I've started again from not quite the start, but it was my idea, yes. And
I got to tell you, since you turned me on to the clothing on the website, and I saw that we were putting all this together, Steve was at the meeting, I didn't notice how powerful that was until I saw it today.
And this one that Brianna has, look at this one.
I mean, it's amazing.
It's a different design, but yes.
But it's also a confidence giver. It also pushes out your self-awareness, to be able to wear this. And the book itself brings positivity from yourself, which is, it's worth so much more for people to come to the understanding of what you've written and what you've done. It has motivated me into wanting to do a show called The Editor's Desk. And I have two of the producers that are going to bring that back. And you guys are closely tied with The Editor's Desk because that was Lynn's baby.
That was Lynn, yes. That was Lynn.
I'm bringing it back.
Yeah. I'm absolutely getting goosebumps. And I don't know if this is what you were referring to when you were talking a little bit about ideas. But
Absolutely.
I was getting such strong messages from you, from above for you, basically. And yeah, there had to be some more intervention up there, right? Absolutely.
Well, where in the world, I had the two kids,
of course.
They interviewed a couple of people in the studio.
Oh, I'm getting
And all they did was talk about the point of passion, and can we do more? And can we do our own newsletters? And the newsletter is erupting. Brianna is off running now with the newsletter. She has her own reels. I mean, these are all things, and in 20 years of doing this, I've never done this before.
I can't even, it's a wonderful way to live, okay? If nothing else, I believe totally in what I tell myself and what I hear. But even if you're just starting off, as many people are, you're expanding your consciousness. That's basically the word. And your consciousness, expanding it, can go all out, everywhere. So even if you just, I used to say, fake it till you make it. Believe there's a better way if you're hurting, if you're suffering. We all go through that, but there is light at the end of the tunnel. That's what they're telling me to tell you guys. With everybody, we've all had our problems, and we will continue to. It's how you look at those problems. That's that. And if you have an idea, let it grow, let it be into something bigger. Your passion, I've said that many times over the year. Follow your passion. I believe with all my heart you will not go wrong but you have to stick to that. It's work. It doesn't just all fall in your lap. You have to, even people say, well, how do I get what you've got? This took a long journey for me, a long journey, and I'm nowhere near where I would like, I like where I am, but I have a lot more learning to learn. I want to hear from people that are more into, there's so much more. So I want to hear from people the things that I am just beginning to discover. It goes on, and guess what? It goes into other next lifetimes too. So it's never ending. We're energy. So we continue and we continue. Follow your dream. I love what you just said. I love that.
And it's very interesting that you brought Lynn into the subject here, because he keeps popping up. I mean, just a few weeks ago, Sally and I finally used a gift card we got from Lynn for our wedding present at a restaurant in Jupiter. It was a bit of a long drive, so we just never went until a few weeks ago. And we had a nice conversation with each other about Lynn and how he was so productive in getting the new book started. Unfortunately, he passed before it could finish, and it's in the hands of someone else now. But Lynn just keeps popping up.
He does.
And I actually saw Louise, who he was like a business partnership.
Yes.
Here, I told her.
She does the show Thursdays.
And I couldn't remember what I dreamt, but she'll tell you. I said, Lynn, talk to me. He absolutely talked to me. I didn't remember. I usually remember it. I said, Louise, I was going to call you the next day, but I didn't. And then it which doesn't always happen, but it faded from my memory. I actually said those words to her a couple of weeks ago when I saw her.
Well, a couple of weeks ago, we had the interview, so I called those two producers, the librarian and the professor. And they looked at me like I had 6 heads because all of a sudden I saw Lynn. And he was standing right where you're sitting. And he tells me, let's bring it back. Yeah. It will be successful, but not for me, but for them. So we had a meeting about it today. They don't understand just how big of a journey. This all that you see started with Lynn and Louise. It's big. And the whole thing went in that whole direction, which direction we're going to go. You guys used to meet with Lynn every week.
Nearly 1 year.
Yeah.
A Friday didn't go by that I didn't talk to Lynn about my journey with his journey, and we could see how it was going on. And basically, unfortunately, but everything has a purpose, and he's living on, and we feel that. But one of his last words were to me, we've now finished the book. That was one of his last words. So if he's in another dimension, he wants to go on with this. He wanted to then. Why would it change? So whatever you're planning on doing, from what I hear from the spirit world, go ahead. It doesn't matter what comes up. Follow what you feel you want to do.
Something else very interesting about Lynn, and that is he was able to channel Aldo with you.
Absolutely, he did. If people are wondering what we're talking about, if we have new people out there or just beginning to learn to listen to my show and see what was happening, just Aldo and most people today, Adam book would understand more. Actually, just even get the ebook, because if you're following my show, at least it gives you an idea of what we're talking about, because he's in there. But he would say to me, Lynn, and Aldo was my guide here, but past, and Lynn would say, I feel Aldo's presence. So he at that time wanted to do more. So we have 2 people. I actually have more than 2 people up there that were following my book. They're wanting to go forward with something. Absolutely.
Well, the object of the game is for you to learn your place. Everybody wants to know why I'm here. What am I supposed to do? What am I learning? Yeah, I'm going to pay my bills. I got to go to work. But there's more to life than that.
What's my purpose on this world?
That's right.
100%.
But what they don't understand, Sally, what they don't see is just how they are affected by everything that we've been doing in this place for 5 years. And you guys have been a huge part of that, because you open the path and you show us in what direction, and all of a sudden, she shows up. And all of a sudden, she shows up. And in that room, I got he and she and he, and they all show up. And here we go. So I get to sit back. And I get to lay it on them. I said, okay, this is what we need to go do. And they do it. And I go,
see a
wow.
circle with you standing in the middle here. And I've seen that. How many times have you've seen what happens when I'm here too.
It happened today. Do you see all the people that went in? We had nobody here this morning, right? Nobody. We had 3 or 4 people. Next thing I know, I got 50 people in here. And they weren't all producers. You had some guests.
Well, yes, because
you had some heartache. Karen came in with
heartache. And the gentleman, I don't know if he minds on his name being
That's
told.
okay. Brian came in with
Brian
heartache.
came in, and when he saw me, he came over to me. In fact, he even said to me, he's doing a show, I believe, on a Monday, but it's
That's
later.
What we're working on.
He said, I'm coming in for your show first, because I said, we may not see each other. No, I'm coming in for your show, and we'll continue with his show. It's not me. I don't want to have the ego that I'm doing this. We're all doing it together. We're all doing, and that's the part that's important. And as long as we continue, which we're doing here, Freddie, you're here. So you've done this too. Just remain positive. Whatever comes into someone's life, if they're negative, you can't basically say out of here, because there may be a reason for that. But if you start to feel truly, I mean, you can't be rude to people, but maybe you can. But if you feel any negativity, it's either a lesson that you need to learn or they need to be out. It's one or the other, because negativity will follow. It follows all of us. So if you believe that it's a lesson and it could be helpful, then continue. But if it becomes more and more negative, I can't tell you what to do, but I know today what I'm going to do, because it's very important. You know, how many more years do I have left to be able to help people doing as far as I've gone? I need to know a lot more, and I want to come back and learn more. But I know that it's all about energy. It's energy. So why would we bring in bad energy?
And it's not just about the staff that comes in here, but the amazing and incredible situation, things that are attracted to this building here.
Yeah.
Like-minded people to Sally, and who just have a thirst for knowledge about what Sally knows and what you know. And it's just amazing who shows up here.
Well,
Not even just in this building. I feel like Sophia and I were so well received and buoyant today. Like, it felt like a karmic, like, we're doing the right thing, expanding, you know?
Because it carries on.
Yeah,
where
but
you're
anywhere
going.
she goes, she's well
I was just going to
received.
say,
Anywhere.
where you go, if you carry that confidence, which you please believe in yourself, Brianna. I feel that there's a little bit of you saying, I don't know, but just say, go away. I'm able, you are able to do whatever you put your foot down and you go, whatever you're doing, it's going to work. If you want to talk somebody into something, if you believe in your heart that that is going to work, it will work. It will. I was in sales for 20 years. And I used to surprise myself. I was in a very difficult selling job. It wasn't easy. But I didn't understand what was happening to me. But Steve, you can verify this. You know that I used to sell a lot of things.
Yes.
And I used to say, and I questioned, and I used to do it with humor. And I said, where
But
is
she
this
didn't come here to sell.
No, I'm just using
I'm just saying.
Mm-hmm.
And she's good at it.
Oh,
so now
okay.
what we're doing is we're sending different bits and pieces, because I want her energy to get absorbed by Sophia. And then there'll be Ice. We're going to go with them as well. There are going to be more and more people that are going to go with her, different times, different groups. It's a camera group that we're putting together. It's a different vision that I see, because sometimes, and Steve, you can relate to this because you've been in sales forever, but sometimes the sale is not here, but it's over here. And it is not today, but it can be tomorrow. So I'm a firm believer that if you give it to them, watch them make something of it.
Because you're giving it, it's coming to me too, because I did sales for 20 years. It's the energy that's passing from one person to another. And they used to, especially in the business that I was in, it was a hard sell. People didn't even want to talk to you when they first came here. And I used to get sick of what they used to say in the meetings, but I see, and I did listen because I was selling. Come in the morning, visualize, because that's the vision board. Visualize your hello, visualize shaking your hand. And the most important is to believe what you're doing, that it does help. If you're doing something that's not going to help people, then you're not going to be able to believe it. I believed in a product that a lot of people didn't believe in, but I believed in it, and I must have transferred, although I didn't know what I was doing, at that time, my energy to other people. And I truly believed that it was helping them, and it did. Many people used to thank me with letters. So it all starts with not me, anybody. It all starts within us to do something that you believe in. You're transferring that energy to the person, and that person does the same thing. That's how it expands. You're expanding the whole horizon here. If you get what I'm going to call one bad apple, as we used to say, well, not used to, it just came out with that actually, you have to get rid of that apple. You have to get rid of it because it can mess up the whole thing. So what you believe in, Freddie, what you see as your dream, it cannot not work. I absolutely assure you, in my way of thinking, it can't not work. Your doubts can make it work. People doubting you can make it not work, excuse me. As long as you put this whole thing together. It's you, the studio and Dawn have made this what it is. Look around. I don't know where you started because I didn't know you guys, but look at what you have here. Look at this. Only you know. I can feel, but you have done so much and you've helped so many people. This is what they're trying to tell me to tell you. It's making me even want to cry. You have helped even though you're not aware of it. You've sent people out there, which is the producers here have gone on to do greater things because of what you've done in this studio. I couldn't even think who you may have helped, but they're telling me all the young kids that are here. You're helping all of them.
There's been a lot of them.
Yeah, they come
But
and they
you know
go
what?
and they come and they go.
But they come. Them showing up
Yep.
is the battle. Having them come in,
Absolutely.
drinking the Kool-Aid.
Yep,
After
absolutely.
that, then they take off and they do.
But then they're starting
remarkable
their
things.
little circle. If you see how
That's
it
right.
expands, we're a little circle here that's got larger because you're the, let's say you started the circle because you brought in here. They go on to put it in, that's what they're showing me. You're starting another circle and you're going to be the leader. There's no ego, but the leader of that circle, which will attract more people. And the people within that carry on and on it goes. But the most important is to believe in yourself, that every one of us can do this. It's up to us where we go with it. That's such an important thing to know. It's so important. And I'm learning, and you know what's helped me learn a lot more? This show. Because when you first met me, Steve, maybe nearly 3 years ago now, right? I wasn't as strong with my convictions as I am today.
No.
Because doing what I'm doing, it's like I had someone say, it's like muscle memory, they're telling me. The more you expand yourself with doing your passion, the more, I don't have to convince myself, but I have gratitude for what's happening to me. It's not my ego that's pushing me forward, it's the gratitude that I'm able to do this. It's rewarding, and it's rewarding, you feel it, we all feel it. And you have your own.
And there was 3 years prior to meeting you that you didn't show up.
That's exactly right, because today maybe because I've learned more in the 3 years here, but it will still repeat itself like something in the past. We give ourselves a gift again to be able to do what we didn't do then, which I have brought it into my now, and look what's happened. I have my art on clothing. People are asking me questions. I actually say, well, go into my book if there's something you don't understand. This is how it started with me. So my book, it all actually has its place. My book, Aldo coming into my life to teach me, Lynn, who was telling, we were working on the book for a year, even though he's in spirit, he's still helping because we're all part of this big circle. It can't go wrong. So whatever message that I need to give you, what you're doing cannot go wrong. The only time it can go wrong is if you start to doubt it.
Amen to that.
Right, and we didn't just meet 3 years ago, we met 25 years ago.
That's right.
And then we met again 13 years ago. And then we met 3 years ago, and, it just was
The rest
right
is
at
history.
that time.
It was time.
That's a
Yeah.
lot of years.
A lot of years.
A lot of
yeah.
years.
A lot of years.
Yeah, we have a few years between us.
Yep, we do. We have history, as I call it
History
today.
is right.
History. Yeah. So I guess the program is, we talked about fairies in the beginning, but you know what?
We are
it's good to
fairies.
have, yes, and it's good to have these feelings. It's good to feel that that we have people around us to understand a little bit. I've always felt connected to fairies, and I meet Dawn. I have a painting with a little wand. What does she show me? She's got in her hand to go on the show a little wand. So it's not coincidence.
You're funny. We started, how long have we had the morning show? Maybe a year and a half?
When I came, you already had it.
We
I
had
came
it?
in October, November.
And the reason I wanted to do the morning show, Sally, has a lot to do with what you're just talking about right now. It's about giving people an opportunity to laugh. Mm-hmm. Giving people, when you wake up in the morning, first of all, that's the gift, that you have another day. And then going about your business and maybe sharing with us who you are, what we do, the jokes, the videos, the funny words, the play on words. There's nothing on there that's meant for anybody to be insulted or hurt or anything else. It's all about get your day started with a little bit of music, and a little bit of laugh. And that's what we've done. And again, these are all part of the elements that knowing the two of you have brought to this house, because this is a house of passion.
It's a house, and I used to be in a business which starting a sale at 7 in the morning. I had to get up at 5 to be smiling, to greet people that didn't want to even talk to me, with what I was doing.
At 7 in the morning?
At 7, after the morning meeting. You know what why I'm saying this? In the morning meeting, you actually had to even get up on chairs. Oh, today is going to be a good day. You feel like doing that at 7. I thought, are these people nuts? I did it for 20.
7 in the morning.
20 years I lasted in that business, and I know I helped a lot of people because they all used to, not everybody, but they'd come in and thank me for what that I had done.
Freddie, your morning show is a very important show, and just like we grew up in New York, you probably remember Imus in the morning.
Yes.
I don't remember.
And I would listen to Imus every morning driving to work, and it would get my day started.
Yep.
Humor, and you put humor. I love humor. I often think maybe I should have been a stand-up comedian because I love it, and I can stuff.
But you're invited to every morning show we do.
It's
You're gonna
better
be here
than 7
early.
in the morning, though, right? I'm still ahead of the game here. But humor is very, very important.
It is.
It's
And it allows you to be, if you can't laugh a little bit at yourself, there's always an issue.
Right. I used to, at the end of my cell, and it's not about me, but if it helps people, at the guy that we worked as a team, he was like my manager, and he'd come in and had the same humor as me. And I had not just one, many people used to say, well, we're not buying right now, but can we give you money for the humor that you made them laugh and smile? We didn't accept it because we weren't allowed to. But it was a good deal. But that vibration was coming from the guy who was my manager. So we fed off it. I didn't understand it. But as you do with Dawn. And hopefully when I'm on the show, we can feed off each other. So it's all about everybody that's in your environment, actually.
Humor is extremely important. And
you were eating out of a pot today.
Yes, he wasn't, but I did. He hurt his mouth.
It's hilarious.
Yeah, it is. It is.
I do
And
a
we're
thing
talking
in
about
my
fairies.
business. When couples come in, we get handed a slip with their names on it, and I just do a silly thing with every couple I get. I could have a slip that said Freddie and Dawn. I say, which one of you is Dawn? And it's just a silly little thing like
opens
that.
people
Gets
up,
the session off to a funny start.
It's the way it is.
laugh. You have to laugh.
This morning, did you hear this morning the breaking news?
No.
Which breaking
So
news?
Mona Lisa gave birth. I had a dream last night. She gave birth last night. And the baby was G-Man.
I heard you say, I don't know what you were talking about.
Isn't he older than her? How would that be?
It was a dream.
Oh, my God.
She sat between Dawn and I and gave
birth
birth.
to
And it was G-Man.
Oh, my God.
Was he
that a
fully grown,
message?
or was it him as a baby?
He was fully grown with a beard and everything.
We have a
I think you
problem
need to
here.
see a psychiatrist.
I can't control my dreams. All I know is it happened. I woke up in a deep sweat.
It's humor. That's what that was all about, humor, because you knew today you were going to have a laugh over that.
I thought it was hilarious.
Yeah, and you know what? You made other people laugh. So
Except her. But she says,
Heather.
except her. But I thought it was funny. I thought that, I think that fun is an important aspect of what you do. And again, I urge you to buy Quote Me Zena, go on the website and get the book, and ask questions that you may not want to ask of yourself to find out why you're here. And then give Sally a call. Really simple.
You can also scan the QR code that's on your screen right now.
Yeah.
And also, it's a prelude. I'm having another book that's going to come out, which is really a type of continuation from here. It'll have some of the things of my experience that happened here. And again, either a hard copy or an ebook, each one will tell you the story. It's just whether you physically want maybe some of the artwork in your hand, but you're still going to see it on an ebook. So.
And if you want to see it in that book is one thing, but if you want to see yourself wear it, go to her website. I got to tell you, take it from me, the clothing, the website, though those pictures are great, don't get me wrong, those are high res. If you see the material and you put it on, it changes all your dimensions on the clothing. It's unbelievable.
And I recently just started to sell this again, and my girlfriend, the first one that bought it, who has a hairdressing salon, she said to me, I've got to have some down here because you can feel it and touch it.
It's good
but
quality.
the experience of that, the quality is better than I even thought it was going to be. So it works both ways. You've got to have it in your hand, so you need to buy it. But
No,
if
it's
you're,
fantastic.
Yeah, thank you. So I think have we come to the end of the show. Thank you, everybody. Please tune in next week at the same time, and I'll be here. And if you have my book, have it open. If there's a question you want to ask me, or even on an ebook again, have it open, and I'm here to answer questions in person. Thank you, guys.
You have been watching Call Me Zena with your host, Sally Bernard. As an artist, author, and spiritual experiencer, know that you can always seek me out for resources by visiting artbysallybernard.com. Join us next week, Mondays at 2:30. Have a blessed day.